Good morning, Shirelings. I wanted to share with you a little bit of what I learned about owning ducks. It's been quite an adventure, frustrating at times. So when I started out, we bought little ducklings from Tractor Supply, and they were cute and fuzzy and very high strung. Unlike the ducks and the chickens, we couldn't even, get near them without them running. And that hasn't changed at all. The other thing is that ducklings are very messy, very dirty. You could even say disgusting. We kept them in big totes, and we changed the bedding every day because we had to, whereas the chickens and the turkeys, we could let them go for a few days before we change them to keep them clean. But ducks, being waterfowl, like to be in the water, so they would splash it everywhere and make a mess, and it would start to smell, so we'd have to change it all the time. Now, when they got a little older, we moved them outside, put them in that pen right there, But again, the same thing, just on a bigger scale, happened with the ducks. They made an absolute mess. It was a mud pit. They would dirty everything up. And you can't avoid that because ducks need water. They need to be able to have enough water to stick their heads into so they can clean themselves. It's even better if they can get their whole bodies in there. So we had a little kiddie pool in there. But it quickly became apparent that this wasn't gonna work because their poop was accumulating in there, and I would go in there and with the rake and mix it up a little bit. Even went in there with the tiller, the little handheld tiller, and mix it up to try to help with that. But it wasn't enough. So we made the decision to let them have the whole yard. And now that they have the whole yard, they graze on the grass and the bugs. They got the little kiddie pool over there that they go into. But you do have to change that every day because they get it very, very dirty. They get in there and they bathe and drink, and the water turns black with all the mud and dirt that, they carry in with them. But they need that in order to stay healthy. Ducks need that. So if you are thinking of owning ducks, more than one, I would recommend that you have a space big enough for them to wander into, so that their poop is spread out. Move the kiddie pool or whatever it is that you use every day, because if you leave it in one spot, it's going to kill the grass underneath it. Rinse it out every day, wash it, fill it up with clean, fresh water. And ironically, the ducks, because they're in the big yard, have become less work than the chickens and the turkeys. Even though they're in that big 10 by 20 coop that I built and I move it every single day, they eat a lot less because they've got all of this grass and bugs and seeds to eat. I recently mowed out here. You can kind of tell with all the grass clippings there. But I let it go pretty long before I did that, mostly because of the rain, but also because the ducks like to eat the seeds. But yeah, lessons learned about keeping ducks. So because it's become kind of easier to handle and more of a success, we may actually keep the ducks long enough to see if they lay eggs. Whereas the turkeys, well, the turkeys are eating us out of house and home, but that'll be another episode. So yeah, ducks, definitely. Would I do it again? Maybe. Probably not. It's a lot of work when they're small. They're really messy and smelly and dirty. Once they get to this point, they can roam around the yard. It's a different story. But might do ducks again. We'll see what happens with these. But that's it for now. Bye-bye.